I wonder how you've been coping with it all. Like, has it been challenging for you?
I think so. I'm a human being. So at the end of the day, I've had to deal with a lot of things, even the passing of my father. I had to basically sit in my front room and watch his service on YouTube streaming. While my sisters were over there, basically there to do the eulogy for my father and this sort of stuff. 40 years of working really hard as a self-employed DJ.
Yeah,
I've been around the world like you can't believe and made millions of people happy. Yeah. Since that, my father's died. Since that, my mother's died. I'm not at home. I'm in Australia.
Yeah,
and now I don't have a job as a DJ, basically. Which is my craft and what I've set up for.
Yeah.
And now in the UK, they're telling us to go and get another job because your industry is not coming back.
Yeah, it's really.
And now,
I can't believe that.
Now you're asking me how I am. I'm fine.
Yeah,
but I'm not happy.
yeah, that's totally understandable.
I really don't need or want for anything in the end of the day because I have my health, I have the people around me, I have the ability to still reach out with what I do with my music, and that's the kind of thing that makes people happy in the end of the day. But I have to be happy also. Be able to have the inner strength to be able to do all of this stuff, because if I don't, then none of this exists. It will all just disappear and it'll all just go. So I decided one day I'm going to make some banana bread, and I looked in the cupboard and I thought, see what was in there. I had some old bananas.
Yeah.
And I smoked bananas, and I had the ingredients to make banana bread. So went through the motions, made it come out, and I thought that I would record it and put it up on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
The amount of people that came to me to say thank you for that. I've got my own version of banana bread. It's amazing that you're able to do it and that kind of stuff. And it lifts people up.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, there's no simplest thing to lift people up.
Yeah.
To be the very thing that saves you.
Yeah.
And if you can elaborate that and to help other people just to even do something which they thought they could never do, that inner strength gives you the inner strength to continue in life and to know what's important for you to have the life that you believe you should have.
Staying connected with people, supporting each other is a huge part of getting through what we're all going through, right?
I mean, look, I always talk to my friends. Some of them are not in a very good place mentally,
right? And
I recognise that very much so. And pick up the phone. Don't text. Yeah. Don't send messages on Facebook. Yeah. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Pick up the phone. Get onto them. And that's girls as well as guys, for the friends that I know. I see a lot of stuff online, and people just cannot cope. You can already read the signs, and if you can see that, just get on the phone, speak to them, and see how they are. And this is the first time I've spoken to so many of my friends over the years that normally I'll just think they're okay, they're doing all right, but half of them are not doing okay. Just a simple chat, a conversation helps me, helps them. Because when people know that I'm not really in a good place also, and the things that have happened to me, they can also evaluate where they are and then think, wow, Carl's actually doing a lot worse than I am. So therefore, I should feel lucky to be where I am and to be able to continue in your quest of life. So just talking to people is one thing that I've really enjoyed doing. I mean, sometimes I'm on the phone to one person for nearly over 2 hours. I never had time to talk to anyone for even 5 minutes, because I was so busy in my life.
Of course,
being here, there, and everywhere, and trying to be healthy, trying to rest as much as possible, trying to be focused about what I want to do next. That sometimes you do forget about your family, and you sometimes forget about your friends. So this has been really an amazing thing to be able to give that a part of my soul back to others that also are less fortunate than I am. You used to try and calm people down. Don't get upset. Use the negative and try and turn it into positive. Use this because it's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. But for me to try and keep connected with people, I think has been the thing that's really given me the strength to continue to do what I do.
I mean, there's all the challenges that 2020 has brought with the pandemic, and then of course losing people in addition. just adds to that.
My father passed away this year. My mum passed away 4 years ago.
Yeah, right.
So I had to deal with that 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and I watched her basically deteriorate over the many years, and I had to support my mother while she was in home care for the time that she was basically getting more and more sick. And she basically, end of the day, died of septicemia based on her having every 3 days. For 3 days a week, she was having dialysis.
Right.
So eventually she got weaker and weaker because of it, and then eventually she passed. And my father ended up with dementia. So as soon as she went, then I was dealing with my father.
Yeah.
And then over 8 years. So I'm surprised that I have this mental capacity to continue to do what I do at a level I do it at. And I think it's not like it's something that I have to do. It's just something that I think makes me who I am. And through adversity, I have a lot of good friends that obviously make sure that I'm okay. I always end up talking to my friends that I have, and also with my family, which is my sisters, Andrew and Pamela, and my niece. But they're over in the UK at the moment. But so we're the kind of the Cox family that's left. So we rally round, make sure that we're all of us are okay. But the spirit of my mum and dad live on because they're up there somewhere looking after us, and they want me to continue to do what I do as a DJ and as an artist. Yeah. So that's why the Cabin Fever remains. That's why I'm going to keep going out and DJing as much as I can, and basically uphold the Cox family name in that way. But it has been difficult because I've had friends that have also passed as well, not just family. Keith Flint from The Prodigy, good friend of mine, 2 years ago, took his own life. Then we had an anniversary for him, all while this was going on inside the pandemic. And I'm just thinking, my God, I feel that at the end of the day, we have to make the very best of what we have.
Yeah.
In the end, and basically grab every single moment as humanly possible to respect the moments that you have. Unfortunately, my tour manager and some other tour managers felt that I would, me being a millionaire DJ, was trying to get other people to pay for him his existence, and because he's not getting any money or he's not being supported by me in any way, shape, or form, which is untrue. Yeah. And I had for two weeks a very hard backlash from people who had no idea who I was.
Remember that.
And who I am, and I was getting a lot of hate, memes, a lot of people basically. It was really playing on my mind, right? On how hurtful people could be, even if they didn't know the scenario of what it was all about. And it was even more hurtful when my peers were also sticking, their 2 cents in, based on that they believed that I wouldn't look after them. The very one person who gets looked after the most, even better than my family. Yeah. So when you're seeing all these things coming up on online, on Twitter, on Instagram, and it was savage. He had already made this music. He was looking for like £5 or something. They all did it for a bit of a joke, really. It wasn't even something serious. They just thought that at the end of the day, it would just be nice to make that money and put it to charity. Well, it never came out like that. It looked like that I didn't want to pay him. He had no choice but to go and do this, and therefore made me look really bad.
How did you cope with all that then, Carl? What helped you get through it? Was there a certain way that you looked at it which helped, or was there anything that you did which helped you deal with all that?
Well, for 2 days I didn't talk to anyone.
Right.
And basically I needed my friends to help me. And Ian was one of the people that helped me the most. He had to go up and just say that what happened with Carl, the narrative of everything was untrue. It still took a lot of people a lot of time to come off of it. I just had to take a breath. I could have turned to drugs. I could have turned to alcoholism. At one point where I did want to get in one of my cars and smash it into a tree, but I didn't do any of that. I just took myself out and just took a breath and just basically evaluated where I was and to talk to the right people. Stay off social media. Stay off it. Because every time we went on it, it would trigger your anguish, your hate, and your mental state of mind, which be the very thing that will take you over the edge.
Yeah. Sounds like it was a really tough time. I remember seeing all of that online, and but I think that's a helpful way to approach it, right? Like, one is to take a break from social media,
take it out,
and also to talk to your friends and get them to do their bit to set things right if they were involved in it. Yeah. The music industry is already a difficult business to be in, and then obviously the pandemic has made things even harder, because in some ways the music industry has been hit worse than any other industry out there, because all the events are shut down and they're pretty much the last ones that are going to reopen. But the music industry, how do you see us coming out of this and recovering in the future? Like, what do you think the future holds for us?
We're all coming together. From people who collect, glasses and cleaning the toilets and to do with, the nightlife and hospitality. We're starting to come together now, based on our strength in numbers, to get the government and to understand that we are relevant in this scene. We're relevant in people's lives. We're relevant in creating jobs for people, which we've always done. I mean, what was shocking for me is that there was a number that was basically put out based on the hospitality and the music industry, that we basically create up to £66 billion worth of industry, which basically jobs for all, if you choose to take it. To ignore that would be very, very stupid and silly. As industry people, we're just going to sit there and roll over and think, okay, we've lost what we love, and what we brought into this world over many years to make so many people happy, that this is something that's never going to happen and come back ever again. It's a complete no. So at the moment, we're now starting to come together. It's not like pockets of people who are not working. It's everyone in the industry that's not working. Across the board, worldwide. I'm a world international DJ. Not to be able to do that is unbelievable. So we have to be responsible at the end of the day, and tell our children or tell our friends, don't go out and march. Don't go out and protest. Not in these pandemics. Don't go out and do illegal parties. There's no point. No. It just sets us back by where we are. And I understand everyone's frustrated, and I understand everyone's pissing and moaning, and I get that. It's in our nature. But this is something of which we have no control on. We have to basically keep our voices heard. We have to really go out there and still show people of how relevant we truly are at the end of the day. And it's not just about making money, it's about people's lives. Nobody's going to not stop dancing. Nobody's going to not stop making music, and nobody's going to stop going out. So we continue. We just do. It's just we have a little blip, which hopefully we can get through, and then we get back to where we were.
It's a really nice positive note to end it on. Thanks so much for your time. Yeah, appreciate the chat, and look after yourself. Yeah.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Mate, bye.
All right. Bye for now.